Great Pyramid contains a number of mysteries, but it's not just big, it's really, really precise. The Great Pyramid is locked in to the cardinal dimensions of our planet. They wouldn't understand why it was important to do that.
For years, the Great Pyramid of Giza has stood as one of history's most shocking stories. Experts believe it was built by Pharaoh Khufu's workers, yet cracks in that story keep growing.
How on earth did they do it? Where did that knowledge come from? This is why I'm forced to consider the possibility of a lost civilization. This is a work of almost space-age precision. It contains errors, there are human errors.
Now, Graham Hancock claims he has proof that turns the official story upside down. He says the pyramid's true builders were not who we've been told, but survivors of a lost civilization that carried better knowledge from an abandoned age. Could this proof finally expose the truth about one of the world's greatest creations? Join us in this video as we reveal the details. The proof showing who really built the pyramid. The Great Pyramid of Giza is one of the most famous and mysterious structures in the world. For a long time, people have been told one main story about how it was built. According to the official version, it was made about 2,500 years before Christ, during the rule of Pharaoh Khufu. The story says that about 20,000 workers spent 20 years cutting more than 2 million stones, moving them, and carefully placing them to create the huge monument we see today. They are said to have used only simple tools like copper chisels, ropes, and wooden sleds. Most historians believe the Great Pyramid was built as a tomb, a resting place for Khufu, so that his name would be remembered forever. But this simple story shows many problems. Some of the blocks in the pyramid are extremely large. A number of them weigh up to 80 tons, which is about as heavy as a train engine. Many of these stones were not taken from nearby, but from quarries in Aswan, which is about 500 miles away. Moving such massive blocks by boat on the Nile, dragging them over land, and then lifting them more than 100 feet into the air would be a serious challenge, even with today's advanced cranes and machines. The foundation of the pyramid also creates questions. The base spreads over 13 acres of land, yet it was made so flat and so level that even modern engineers with their machines would struggle to copy it today. It is level within less than an inch across the whole base. Even more surprising is that the pyramid is aligned almost perfectly to true north. The error is only 0.05 degrees. This kind of precision is something we normally reach today only by using satellites or other advanced technology. The only evidence that links the pyramid to Khufu comes from marks that were said to be discovered in 1837. Colonel Howard Vyse claimed to have found red-painted quarry marks in a hidden chamber above the king's chamber, and these included Khufu's name. But no one else saw the discovery, and Vyse was under a lot of pressure to make a big find. His notes also had contradictions. Some experts have suggested that these marks may have been faked. If this is true, then the link to Khufu completely disappears. The methods that are said to have been used are also very hard to believe. Experiments have shown that copper chisels are too soft to cut granite properly. They wear down almost instantly. This is why Graham Hancock and others put forward a different explanation. Hancock believes the Great Pyramid was not built by Khufu at all, but by a much older civilization that existed long before Egypt's known history. He points to erosion on the body of the nearby Sphinx, which geologists say was caused by heavy rainfall. But Egypt has not had such rainfall for more than 10,000 years. This means the Sphinx could be that old, and if the Sphinx is that old, then maybe the pyramids are too. There is also an astronomical clue. The 3 pyramids of Giza line up with the stars of Orion's belt, but not as they appear in 2500 BCE. The alignment matches instead around 10,500 BCE. Both the erosion and the star alignment point to the same period of time, thousands of years earlier than the official story. Hancock argues that this cannot be just a coincidence. He believes the builders designed the site to be a mirror of the heavens and that the knowledge behind it came from survivors of a lost civilization that was destroyed about 12,800 years ago during a sudden climate disaster known as the Younger Dryas. Modern technology has added even more mystery. In 1993, a robot exploring a shaft inside the pyramid found a sealed stone door with copper fittings, but what lies behind it has never been revealed. Hancock believes it was built as a kind of time capsule, a monument designed to survive disasters and carry knowledge through time. Whether or not his theory is correct, the Great Pyramid continues to challenge our ideas of history. After uncovering the secrets of Egypt's powerful rulers, one question still lingers: how did they manage to build a structure as massive and precise as the Great Pyramid of Giza without modern machines? Let's find out more. The mystery of how the Great Pyramid was built. The Great Pyramid of Giza is one of the most popular and shocking buildings in the world. It was built more than 4,600 years ago, and for a long time, it was the tallest structure on Earth. The question of how it was built has never been fully answered. Old workers did not have cranes, trucks, or latest machines. They only had simple tools made of copper, stone, and wood. Yet somehow, they created a structure that still stands strong thousands of years later. Over time, experts have given clues about different ways it might have been built. The first and most traditional idea is that the builders used big ramps outside the pyramid. In this theory, workers dragged the heavy stones up ramps made of mud brick, clay, and limestone chips. Some think the ramp was straight and stretched out for more than a kilometer. Others believe it wrapped around the pyramid in a spiral shape as the structure rose higher. This theory makes sense in some ways because Egyptians did use ramps in other building projects, but there are big problems. A straight ramp, tall enough to reach the top, would have been longer and larger than the pyramid itself. Building it would take more material than the pyramid and would make the job even harder. A spiral ramp would solve the size problem, but it would block the view of the pyramid's corners. Without being able to see the edges, surveyors would find it to keep the pyramid straight and simple. Another issue is that no parts of such big ramps have ever been found near the Great Pyramid. Because of this, many experts think the ramp idea alone cannot be the full answer. Another idea, given by French architect Jean-Pierre Houdin, is that the pyramid was built using a hidden system of ramps inside it. According to this view, workers may have started with a short ramp outside the pyramid for the first levels. Once the base was done, that ramp was taken down, and building continued with an internal ramp. This theory explains some of the mysteries, such as why no big external ramp remains were ever found, and why the Grand Gallery was built in such a strange design. But it also has weaknesses. No direct proof of the secret ramp has been found, and some experts say that such a new plan would have been too hard for that time. A more new idea is that water may have played a role. In 2024, experts found proof of an old part of the Nile River that once flowed closer to the pyramids. Supporters of this theory say that builders may have used water in a shaft system. Rainfall and floodwaters could have been collected and directed into a central shaft inside the pyramid. Stones placed on floating wooden rafts could then be lifted as the water rose, almost like an elevator. This explanation would make moving the heavy blocks easier and would reduce the need for big ramps. It also shows why the Nile's position may have been so important for pyramid construction. However, no such central shaft has ever been found inside the Great Pyramid, and no strong proof shows that Egyptians used this type of water technology. Because of this, many archaeologists are careful about accepting the hydraulic theory, although they agree it is an interesting possibility. Even with these different theories, the truth about how the Great Pyramid was built is still not clear. Each theory answers some questions but raises new ones. At the same time, new findings keep the topic alive. What is sure is that the Great Pyramid is a masterpiece of human effort and skill. It shows that the old Egyptians were capable of big achievements with little tools. Whether ramps, counterweights, or water systems were used, the pyramid still surprises the world. The real story may never be fully known, but that is what makes the Great Pyramid one of history's greatest unsolved puzzles. If the building of the Great Pyramid still leaves us questioning how it was even possible, then what hidden purpose might it have truly served once it is understood? Stay tuned for more. Secrets. Beneath the pyramid, spiritual power or ancient technology. The use of new technology has made it possible to look at ancient sites in Egypt in ways that were not possible before. Tools like LiDAR and Doppler scanning now allow experts to study deep under the ground without having to dig or damage the sites. These scans are beginning to show images of what might be hidden below the surface. Some results look interesting, but at this point they are not clear enough to prove anything. One discovery that caught public attention recently was the claim of underground structures beneath the pyramid at Giza. This claim quickly went viral online, and many people wanted answers. Graham Hancock, who has long studied ancient history from a different point of view than mainstream archaeology, explained that he had already written about this matter in his blog. He made it clear that he was not ready to take a side. In fact, he said he was not even sitting on the fence because there was no fence yet, meaning there was no clear evidence to debate. For him, the important point was not whether the discovery was true or false, but that it should push people to do more investigation. The person behind the underground scan was Filippo Biondi, and his work quickly drew criticism from mainstream scholars. Hancock said these critics were too quick to dismiss the method without properly looking at it. According to him, archaeologists and Egyptologists have faced so many wild claims over the years that they now dismiss anything that sounds unusual. This habit of instantly rejecting new ideas, Hancock argued, is a form of premature rejection in science. Hancock said he planned to meet with Biondi and other researchers to learn more about how the scans were done. He described the approach as clever because it used two different technologies together to create images of what lies underground. He admitted that nobody knows yet if these results will fully check out, but he believes the method has promise. Instead of rushing to judgment, Hancock argued that the right step is to keep testing and see where the evidence leads. This issue also reflects a larger problem in the field of archaeology. Hancock pointed out that mainstream experts in Egypt often push back hard against alternative theories. Hancock believes it is still too early to close the door on this new discovery. Hancock's personal view is that the Great Pyramid was mainly a spiritual monument. He described the pyramid as an extraordinary structure with its long corridors, secret shafts, hidden chambers, and unusual features like the well shaft. He connected these features to the way ancient Egyptians thought about life, death, and the afterlife. He compared some of the inner designs of the pyramid to drawings on the walls of tombs, such as those of Thutmose III, which showed the underworld or the celestial realm. Hancock explained that the Great Pyramid might have been used for spiritual initiation. He suggested that priests or initiates could have been placed inside the pyramid, in total darkness, where they would enter an altered state of mind. Ancient Egyptians, he noted, were known to use certain plants or substances that created such states. From there, they may have experienced visions or out-of-body journeys, which were then described in their sacred texts. However, not everyone agrees with this idea. Researcher Christopher Dunn has argued that the pyramid could have served a technical or mechanical role, possibly even as a kind of ancient power plant. Dunn's theory comes from the incredible level of precision in the pyramid's construction. He points out that the level of machining and accuracy is higher than what would normally be needed for spiritual or ceremonial reasons. While Hancock does not fully agree with Dunn's conclusion, he respects his work and admits that the pyramid may have had more than one purpose. It could have been spiritual and functional at the same time. In the end, the debate shows how complex the mystery of the pyramids remains. On one side, there are exciting new technologies and discoveries that suggest hidden structures may exist beneath Giza, though they are not yet confirmed. On the other side, there are ongoing questions about the role of the Great Pyramid itself, whether it was mainly spiritual, technical, or both. What is clear is that the pyramid still holds many secrets, and researchers from both mainstream and alternative fields will continue searching for answers. If the Great Pyramid's hidden purpose still leaves us searching for answers, then what deeper secrets might the Sphinx, the temples, and the legends of Zep Tepi reveal about a world long forgotten? Let's delve deeper. Uncovering the forgotten origins of Giza's monuments. The Giza Plateau in Egypt has long been one of the world's greatest mysteries. It is home to the 3 Great Pyramids, the massive Sphinx, and a lot of old temples. While most people focus on the pyramids and the Sphinx, researchers point out that the close big temples are always ignored. These temples, built with stone blocks as heavy as 100 tons, show proof of great age. Later rulers of Egypt changed them, even covering the limestone blocks with new granite facing. This shows that the site was already old when the leadership of the pharaohs took over, raising questions about who first built on this land and how far back the history of Giza really goes. The Sphinx is at the heart of this story. The pyramids themselves hold even more puzzles. The largest, the Great Pyramid, was once covered in smooth white limestone casing stones that shows the sun brilliantly. Its scale and precision are not stable. Each side measures about 750 feet. The total weight of the structure is over 6 million tons, and its arrangement to true north is almost perfect, within a fraction of a degree. Inside, the passageways are cut at exact angles, leading to chambers deep inside. The hardship of this design has led some to believe the builders had far greater knowledge and tools than history writers usually credit them with. The story of how the Great Pyramid was entered also adds to the shock. In the 9th century, Caliph al-Ma'mun forced an entry into the pyramid. His workers used fire and vinegar to weaken the stone, finally breaking into the inner passageways. What they found inside was not treasure, but carefully planned corridors and chambers. These findings caused years of search and talks about the true reason for the pyramid. At the heart of the pyramid lies the king's chamber. This room contains a large granite box, often called a sarcophagus, though no body or burial items were ever found within it. The box is so large it must have been placed inside during the pyramid's construction, not brought in afterward. Above the chamber are 5 small relieving chambers designed to take the massive weight of stone off the ceiling below. The chamber feels more like a machine or a place for ritual than a tomb, leaving many to think if the structure had a reason aside from keeping a pharaoh's corpse. Even deeper, there is the subterranean chamber, cut directly into the bedrock under the pyramid. This chamber looks unfinished and rough compared to the precision of the upper levels. Its purpose has never been talked about clearly. Some believe it was a forgotten burial site, while others say it acted as a totally different role, maybe linked to energy, ritual, or knowledge that has since been lost. The effort it took to cut it into solid rock shows it was important, yet its reason stays as a puzzle. Old Egyptian stories may give clues. Stories speak of Zep Tepi, the first time, when gods or divine beings brought wisdom to humanity. Some researchers, like Graham Hancock, believe these myths are memories of a forgotten civilization that lived thousands of years earlier, one that survived a global catastrophe and passed down its knowledge. The Egyptians spoke of the followers of Horus, a group said to guard and preserve wisdom through the ages. This idea ties to the legend of the 7 sages found in many cultures around the world. In Mesopotamia, India and Greece, the same stories tell of wise figures who come out after great disasters to guide humanity, teaching farming, astronomy, architecture, and laws. The parallels hint that survivors of a worldwide cataclysm may have traveled, spreading their knowledge and controlling early civilizations. If true, the Sphinx, pyramids, and temples of Giza might not just be Egyptian artifacts, but the legacy of an older, lost world kept and fixed by later dynasties. The mysteries of Giza therefore go far beyond what we see at the top. The three pyramids, the Sphinx with its possible older origins, the massive temples, and the unexplained chambers all point to knowledge that may have been carried through time. Egypt may simply have inherited and preserved this legacy, leaving modern researchers to puzzle over the evidence. What do you think about the mystery of the pyramid? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you found it interesting. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the next video shown on your screen to catch up on your favorite celebrity stories. See you there.